Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way, no matter what's going on in your life. And
No matter what.
AFA, absolutely fucking amazing.
And that's what you are. So you can put that designation after your name if you want, because you're it. You're absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Mark.
You are, Sherry. And so is everybody else. All the people who listen to us, everybody else.
Everybody is awesome out there for joining us this morning to learn how to live your best life, to learn how to utilize cannabinoid therapeutics to manage. Now, when we talk about cannabinoid therapeutics, Mark, it's not just about cannabis. It's about all those different things that can support and nourish our endocannabinoids.
All of the activities.
All of them. All of the above. Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I don't know about you, Nurse Mark, but I need a little daily love this morning.
Oh, we got a good one. You know, and it really does support this idea that you're absolutely amazing exactly as you are. As a matter of fact, it's perfect for that. So let's get right into it.
Let's get into it.
And this is called I Am. Oh, I like this one, Sherry. I'm even going to put my glasses on for this. Oh,
I love it. I'm already taking notes.
Here we go. I'm an expression of unlimited spirit. Sometimes I identify so closely with my day-to-day life that I lose sight of my divine nature. Today, I remember and reclaim who I am. I am limitless spirit expressing uniquely at the point of me. I boldly affirm I am not my body. I am the one who lives in my body. I am not my emotions. I am the one who feels my feelings. I am not my thoughts. I am the thinker of my thoughts. Beyond and behind the physical, emotional, and mental activity is the real me. Indwelling spirit is unlimited, infinite, and boundless. That is who I am. I live in perfect harmony with my divine identity. I speak the mindful expression of my I am with affirming, empowering words. I am whole. I am peaceful. I am loving. I am prosperous. I am blessed. I am a beloved child of God. I am grateful.
All right. So, Mark, this is a really cool thing. This is a beautiful, beautiful reading today.
From the Daily Word. Yeah, they do a great job.
Well, here, it even goes further back when you talk about I am. The great I am presence. I don't know if you know Saint Germain, the alchemy of Saint Germain. Really, really cool stuff. You know, one of the blue spiritual things that I truly love. But the I am presence, if you think about it, you know, me, myself, and I, right? You have all of these different things that we identify with, but the I am present is that deep down indwelling spirit, right? And it's the great I am presence is encompasses everything, all of it, you know?
All of it. Like you like to say, it's this meat suit that we wear. You know, separate from the meat suit, but part of it completely immersed is who we really are.
And the thing is, too, with the meat suit concept, you know, the meat suit that we have, these bodies, we only have one of them. And so some of my experiences going into deep shamanic journeying, you know, we all want to get out of our body. We want to escape. We want to travel. We want to journey. We want to trip. Well, guess what? When you're done with your journey and your trip, you need to come back into your body and you need to take care of it. Right. So the meat suit that houses the, you know, our spirit, our soul self is just as much, it's just as important as our spiritual self. So it's really, when we talk about healing, it's bio, psycho, social, spiritual healing, all encompassed into one I am, right? The I am presence. All that it's in. So, you know, here's the interesting thing, Mark, is that one of my meditations that I like to do when it comes to the I am is this was a long time ago when I first started studying this. It came up that maybe a meditation would be helpful. And so I call it the alphabet I am meditation.
Ooh,
so really
exciting.
cool. It's really easy. And you know what? I should have done this last night, but I didn't. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So what it entails is putting on some gentle, soft music that you like. It's about dropping into your heart and your womb space, right? So what is it? We have intellect, cognition, heart space, spirit, intuition way down in our womb space, or our dantian if you're a male. So it's just really connecting to all aspects of your body, dropping in and thinking about words that feel good, right? So you start with the letter A and go through all the feel good words that start with the letter A, right? How about the first one? I am absolutely amazing.
Bingo.
And to just go through the words that feel good.
Right.
You know, I am awesome. I am amazing. I am adored. I am adoring, right? I am an alchemist. So all of these just, I am brave. I am courageous. So go through the alphabet. And it is and it's just really self-soothing. And it's a great way to tap into that indwelling spirit that is deep down inside.
Peel those layers away.
Peel those layers away. So the I am. Here's my mantra for today.
Yeah.
I am a divine expression of creative love.
Beautiful.
Ooh, right?
That's a great mantra.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Right? So here it is. If I am a divine expression of creative love, let's break that down, right? Expression usually comes in the forms of feelings, thoughts, actions, or talking. So if I'm a divine expression, how am I expressing myself? And how am I expressing myself in a loving way? Right? Not only towards others, but to myself. And that ties into today. Right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling too divine last night.
No, Sherry, what the heck happened last night?
Well, interesting. And this is going to bring up a topic of drug addiction, harm reduction, PTSD, and the police.
Everything at once.
All at once, a story. So I have a story.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to talk about it. So last night I finished my podcast. And I was just tidying up, you know, I'm sitting here in my living room, my office and my recording studio is in my living room. And I have a motion detector light at the front of my door. So if someone approaches my door, a light goes on. Well, all of a sudden I'm sitting here at my computer, the light goes on and I look over and I have those windows that you can look out. Yeah. There was a face in my window. And all of a sudden she started pounding on the window, pounding on the door. And of course, what happens? Trying to lock open, you know, I could, and I went over and, you know, immediately I was like, are you okay? She was not in her right state of mind. She was obviously on some type of substance.
Yeah.
Completely eyes dilated. I could see because the light's that bright and her face was that close to the window. It was practically squished. I mean, I thought I was in a horror movie.
Oh, man.
And so I started to try to talk to her. You know, first of all, it was like, okay, are you okay? You have my baby. I was like, ooh, no, I don't have your baby. Started to pound a little bit harder. I was like, time for the police. However, I did react in a way because I have experienced trauma. I've been violated when I was in my teen years, in my college years, you know, so I've experienced trauma when it comes to people breaking into the house, you know, being robbed, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those visceral feelings came up. And I'm not going to lie, I went and got my bat.
Well, of course. You're a human being.
Right, exactly.
It's called self-preservation. It's an automated response. Of course. You saved yourself.
Well, there it is. So then I'm thinking, and I'm like, stop. And then she goes to my car and she opens up my car and she starts to completely 100% vandalize my car, taking things. I was just a little bit nervous. And so I did open the door at that time to get a picture and to just tell her to stop again. And she comes out of the car, comes running back to the door. I slam the door. The police are coming. They're on the phone. And I'm just basically, I'm like, hurry up already. And then it came to me. It all clicked in. I was like, whoa. What can I do that is the most loving and powerful at this moment in time? Number one, talking to her did nothing. Number two, hoping, wishing, and praying and screaming for her to stop doing it did nothing. The police were coming. What was the most loving and powerful thing I could do would be to take care of myself.
Yes.
Remove myself from this situation in a cognizant way. So I'm not going to hurt myself or someone else. What it required me to do was a lot of bong rips. I brought out that cannabis. I packed that bad boy up and I just started going at it. And literally, it wasn't for me to escape the feelings. That's the most important
Yeah,
thing.
because that's immediately where people go say, "Oh,
Oh,
well,
she just
she's
wants to
just
get high.
escaping from the reality of the situation." Well, no, she's soothing an overactive, sympathetic nervous system that's in fight or flight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so in my experience of fight, flight, freeze, collapse,
Hmm.
I'm a fighter and then I flight. So, and I knew, and that's gotten me in trouble before. I've gotten stabbed before for someone
That's
trying
never
to
fun.
rob. No, someone trying to rob me, and
Hmm.
the fight or flight came in, and I was fighting, for my bag, and they didn't want to hurt me. They just wanted my bag. So as they cut my bag off, I got stabbed. So
Hmm.
that was a memory. So all of these flooding visceral memories came in, but I'm going to tell you, cannabis was the most powerful tool because once it quieted down and could breathe again, I
Hmm.
was able to get into a space where, okay, I can articulate what happened. I can
Right.
deal with those trauma feelings later. I don't need to act them out, right? I
Hmm.
don't need to be in a space that's going to cause more damage. And so doing
Right.
cannabis helped. Funny story is, of course, the police are knocking on the door. I open up the door and it is like a cloud of smoke.
I know back in the day you'd be nervous as hell, but hey, it's legal, baby. Welcome to
It is. And so,
Massachusetts.
and so it was a learning opportunity. Well, here, it was an extreme learning opportunity. So the police
Yeah.
came in, there was a couple of cars there. They called the crime scene, the photo people. They end up taking her off. And then, he was doing a police report. And so I wanted to explain about the cannabis. I
Hmm.
didn't need to, but I wanted to.
Right.
And
It's an opportunity.
it was a perfect opportunity. And, he saw my setup and he's like, oh, what's going on? So I educated him. I gave him my card and I said, listen. And then I had like 20 honeys around me. I have my
Hmm.
bong. I have my tinctures. I've got my cannabis books. Everything's everywhere. And so I looked at an opportunity. I said, what he needs to know, because here's what was going in my mind.
Yeah.
What if there was a way for me to have taken a joint and slid it under the door and told her to spark it up, right? Like I was just thinking of all of these things. Like how could have cannabis helped this situation? Well, first of
Hmm.
all, she was obviously addicted to drugs. She was on
Yep.
substance or multiple substances.
Hmm.
What could have been done differently? Well, at that particular
Right.
time, nothing. But what if there was some CBD that the police had? What
Hmm.
if there was some other, an inhaler or a mouse spray or, something just to help her calm down, because I don't think, I didn't want to see her hurt. I want to
Right.
see her helped. And here's the bottom line. They took her
Hmm.
away and they're going to prosecute her with criminal charges.
Yeah.
She's not a criminal. She's a sick and suffering individual who just so happened to make some really, really poor choices. And,
She's
along with,
human.
yeah, she's human.
Yeah.
And so it just made me sad. I was like, at the same time, I'm angry and I'm fearful and I feel violated. But at the same time, I'm looking over, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
what's going to happen to her now?
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And so you want to talk a little bit about harm reduction, right?
yes, I do want to talk about harm reduction because it's really, really important. You take these, this woman in and,
Hmm.
she thought that I had her baby. She was traumatized. She
Right.
wanted to rip whatever baby was in my house out. There's no baby
Right.
here.
Well, of course
Shop
she's delusional. Yeah. So
she was
she's living in an altered reality that's very real for her.
very real.
Very real that you have her baby. So imagine if you thought that somebody had one of your kids, Sherry. How would you
Oh,
react? You'd be banging on that door. You'd be out of your mind, right? We all would. So that's the altered, reality, right?
reality.
Yeah. So when we talk about harm reduction, I think it ties wonderfully into Throwback Thursday because it ties into the war on drugs,
Yep.
which was Richard Nixon's claim to fame and was, reinvigorated by Ronald Reagan. This war on drugs that we've spent trillions of dollars prosecuting people instead of treating them. Right.
Yeah.
So I had to look up harm reduction because I was like, okay, I kind of understand harm reduction. Can I just go through these harm
Yes,
reduction
I,
points?
I do want you to go through them because I think it's
All right.
really, really important,
Yeah,
especially
just
for
so
people that are,
everybody understands.
yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, Jamie, you're right. There could have been a baby in the house because where Sherry lives, it's very much filled with spirits. Yeah, there could have been. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, how do we know? How do we know her altered reality doesn't bring her to that space, right? Well, we
Oh my
don't know. We
God.
could get into
The
all sorts of
veil may
discussion.
have been very thin and she could have seen some spirits floating around too.
Right,
You never
right.
know.
We don't
Interesting.
know. We
Yeah.
we just we just take for granted that the reality we're in right at this moment is the one and
Right.
only.
Right. Right.
Silly
Right.
human beings.
Silly
Uh,
human.
all right, so Cher, I'm going to just read these real quick because
Yes. Thank you.
this is what harm reduction is, right? The principles of harm reduction. There are a set of practical strategies and ideas aimed at reducing negative consequences associated with drug use. Harm reduction is also a movement for social justice built on a belief in and respect for the rights of people who use drugs. So here's what we got. There are 8 of these. Okay, so I'm just going to go through them. These are the principles that the person accepts for better or worse that licit and illicit drug use is part of our world and chooses to work to minimize its harmful effects rather than simply ignore or condemn them. Second, understands drug use as a complex, multifaceted phenomenon that encompasses a continuum of behaviors from severe use to total abstinence and acknowledges that some ways of using drugs are clearly safer than others. Number 3, establishes quality of individual and community life and well-being, not necessarily cessation of all drug use, as
Hmm.
the criteria for successful interventions and policies. Yeah, aren't these good, Cher?
They're really good. I'm letting you
Number
go
4, you're going to love. Calls for the non-judgmental, non-coercive provision of services and resources to people who use drugs in the communities in which they live in order to assist them in reducing attendant harm. Non-judgment, right?
Hmm.
Number 5, ensures that people who use drugs and those with a history of drug use routinely have a real voice in the creation of programs and policies designed to serve them. What better than people who are suffering tell you how you can best help them?
Right. Right.
Number 6, affirms people who use drugs themselves as a primary agent of reducing the harms of their drug use and seek to empower people who use drugs to share information and support each other in strategies which meet their actual conditions of use. Okay, coming down to the last 2, Cher.
It's good.
Number 7, recognizes that the realities of poverty, class, racism, social isolation, past trauma, sex-based discrimination, and other social inequalities affect both people's vulnerability to and capacity for effectively dealing with drug-related harm.
Mm.
Number 8, and the final one, does not attempt to minimize or ignore the real and tragic harm and danger that can be associated with illicit drug use.
There we go.
Yeah, those are the principles of
Yep.
harm reduction. Yeah,
And so, I'm going to pull a couple of them out because a couple of them really stood out to me.
yeah.
The one that stood out to me, the first one that stood out was the cessation of drug use.
Hmm.
Is that really realistic? So when you think about people that
Right.
are, the
That's what they're
statistics of
saying. Yeah.
alcoholism, how
Mhm.
many people truly abstain from all pharmaceuticals, all drugs, and all alcohol? 9%.
Oh,
And it's
probably.
probably even lower now.
It's probably even lower than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the last time that I looked, which was probably over a year ago.
Right.
But that's it, is that for to be realistic on
Mhm.
the cessation. So it is the sensation of harmful drugs, the cessation of drugs that are going to hurt yourself or someone
Right.
else.
Yeah.
Right?
And in harm reduction, they're not saying that cessation is even achievable. They're saying,
Yeah.
let's just accept that there will be some drug use, licit and illicit. Let's just accept that and come from a place of, okay, that's just the way it is. We don't expect you to stop completely. We just want to help you reduce the harm to yourself and other people.
And cannabinoids are a perfect tool to do that. I mean,
Oh, they are.
how many people have we helped get off of alcohol, get off of nicotine, reduce their use
Right.
of pharmaceuticals. We've actually helped people get off of heroin, right? And it's a process.
Yeah.
And using lots of cannabinoids, other tools, and the traditional, the traditional, I hate to say traditional, but the system.
The current system. We're the traditional. I know. I love that. I love that. I thought we picked up on that the other day.
I know,
it
we
really
did.
is true. We're the traditional. We're the ones that have been around for 10,000 years. They've only been around for 100 or so.
Yeah. So just imagine there could be a place for some people to go, right? When they're in this state where there's people that are trauma recovery coaches, people that work with trauma, people that work with drug addiction, people that work with cannabis as medicine.
Right. Instead of spending the money on incarcerating people, why don't we spend the money on actually treating them and helping them to achieve a better quality of life, which we can do. We know how to do that. We just seriously underfund that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes me sad. And then the other thing that came up too was what? Being non-judgmental. The sixth area. So the National Council State Boards of Nursing put out a call to action in 2018 that all nurses, advanced practice nurses, and nursing students must have 6 essential areas of clinical knowledge when it comes to cannabis as medicine. So the sixth one states what, Mark?
My gosh, the nurse shall approach the patient with non-judgment. I'm just paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me.
That you got it exactly. The nurse shall not judge the patient for their method of treatment. Shouldn't judge the patient no matter what. Because as nurses, think about this. The essence of nursing is human caring. And that's caring for the entire human experience.
Yeah.
Right. But I was going to tell you, when you're in that fight or flight, it's difficult to not judge.
Well, listen, you're human. That's a natural human occurrence, right? We think that it's that we have this great control over what our thoughts are and our reactions are.
No, we don't.
Truth of the matter is, it's all very mechanistic, right? If a brain surgeon cuts off the top of your head and looks in, they don't see emotions, they don't see feelings, they don't see memories. They see brain matter and synapses and cells. That's all they see. Very mechanistic. So don't be so hard on yourself.
Exactly.
But because what you do, Sherry, because of the practices you use, you had a moment of saying, okay, do I choose this sympathetic nervous system response or do I do something different? That's because you practice.
It is. It does take practice, and then, there was other things too, because using the cannabis did settle things down. But, the other bottom line is that I couldn't stop moving. Okay. My body, I was up until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Because the energy.
Cortisol, baby.
I needed to move that energy out.
Cortisol flowing through your veins.
It was. And so, I'm scrubbing the bathroom. I'm folding laundry. I'm kitchen floor is spotless.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, and that was helpful.
Yeah. So, in the war on drugs, I'm a little hopeful because, yesterday I read an article that the DEA has expanded the access of marijuana for research. There used to be one place, University of Mississippi, where you could get crappy cannabis to do research in the United States if they allowed you to do research, right?
Brown weed. That's what it was.
It was awful. They have now authorized, I think, another 6 grow facilities. So there's no more monopoly on this. So the DEA said, yeah, we're expanding this because, we recognize that cannabis is medicine, right? Another Schedule 1 drug, which are drugs that they say are not medicinal, psilocybin, they increased the grow and access to psilocybin. So there's hope, Sherry. The DEA is saying themselves, hey, all right, we recognize this is medicine. Let's expand this a little bit. We still haven't, they still will not consider taking it off Schedule 1.
It just doesn't make any sense. I literally...
Because it's bureaucracy, Sherry. It's really very much the DEA is a separate thing unto itself, has a life of its own. And then we have the rest of the government agencies that have a life of their own. And the Supreme Court. So it doesn't make sense. It's not very lovable. It's not very, it's not lovable, actually.
I have a suggestion. I do have a suggestion for them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make a difference if there was a nurse or a cannabinoid specialist on the DEA, right? We have attorneys. There's a nurse practitioner here who's an attorney.
Mhm.
Why couldn't there be someone that understands anatomy, physiology, that understands endocannabinoid, like to really
Listen,
give,
they get it. They get it.
I
Yeah.
know, but it's weird. Like, don't you have a conscience? No.
No, I mean, it's a psychological phenomenon. They have a belief that they'll stick firmly to, and no matter what you provide for evidence, no matter how strong and how,
Well,
real it is.
here's another story. So here's
Yeah.
this. So imagine if this was 10 years ago, 12 years
Mhm.
ago,
Mhm.
and this woman was pounding on my door,
Yep.
and I was doing bong rips. The police come and see her, and then they come to my house,
Yep.
and they open up the door, and here is my house filled with cannabis.
Yeah.
I would have been in just as much trouble as her.
You would have been in more trouble. Oh, they would have ripped your house apart. You would have been
Right?
brought out in cuffs. It would have been,
It would have been horrible. So, and that's
horrible.
yeah.
Isn't it great? Isn't it wonderful that we live in a state that is a little bit progressive?
Yeah.
Now, not totally, because I mean, I just gotta say, I'm not even gonna
Say
go
it,
down that
say it.
road.
No,
The
say it.
bureaucracy and everything else, I can't even tell you about it. It's just still so ridiculously
I
crazy.
know. Well, here's the thing too, even what we said is, even though it's legal medically and illegal for adult use, there's still restrictions. Are we really
Which
free?
make no sense to me. It's
We went to an event.
restrictions on the medical side.
Well, here's the thing too, is we go to an event, a cannabis event on
Yeah.
Saturday, and
Yeah.
they segregated us off. If you wanted to consume and smoke, you had to stand in a section that was outlined by orange tape.
Yeah.
So it's like, that made no sense to me, because we don't
Right.
herd people, in a corner to go have alcohol. I mean, it's just there. So it was just really, really bizarre concept for me as well. And the bottom line is that these experiences truly gave me an opportunity to educate the
Mhm.
police on why I was doing what I was doing, how it made me feel. You see a ton of smoke. Do I look impaired to you? And having these intellectual, deep, rich conversations about what cannabis did to me and what it could have possibly done for this woman.
Mhm.
So, and they were open. They go, "Oh, it's legal. It's legal." I said, "You know how much CBD could help you?"
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Decrease that stress.
decrease that stress. So hopefully
Yeah.
we'll see that in the future.
Well, Sherry, I'm glad you are, calmed down a little bit. Your house is clean. You you were able to make that switch from fight to not even flight. I'm going to stick around and do a little cannabis.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
it. What did cannabis do? It dialed down that stress response.
Totally
Right?
did.
Dialed
Dampen that amygdala, that
Yep,
whole
allowed
response network.
it allowed me to process information from a different perspective.
Love it.
Not only for myself, but for her.
Perfect.
So yeah, so this has been a great show, Throwback Thursday.
Next Thursday.
We'll
be back again
tomorrow. And
yeah, which is, of course, let's admit it, Friday before Labor Day weekend. That's part of the holiday. Come on. Of course it is.
I know. Well, yeah.
5:00 tonight, everybody's going to be like, woo! Weekend begin.
Weekend to go. But hey, if you're around this
Yeah.
weekend and you don't have anything to do and you're looking to be educated, guess where you can go? We got a place for you to go.
Yeah.
Right there. The Green Nurse
Holistic Caring Community.
I'm going to tell you, it's safe there. I promise it's safe.
It's safe. It is. Yes.
Safe, uncensored community.
Mm-hmm.
Free introductory to cannabis course.
Boom.
Free patient portal.
Yeah.
Free patient support group. Monthly webinars that are free. And a book club where you don't even need to own the book. And so we're going to start off with this book, which is really good. Elizabeth Mack wrote it, Cannabis for Health, Become a Coach. And when people see Become a Coach, they're like, oh, I don't want to become a coach. Well, guess what? You need to become your own coach, right?
That's right. Yeah.
We're teaching
self-coaching. It's the best coaching of all.
And that's why this book that Mark wrote, here we go. We have a woman's perspective and a man's perspective.
Yeah.
They're both powerful.
Yeah.
Go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Boom. Oh, why did you say that? I would love a peanut butter and jelly right now.
Would you?
Woo.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's Throwback Thursday.
That is Throwback Thursday, everybody.
Yeah. All
Thank you
right,
for
folks. So
joining us.
Sherry, let's have an AFA day today.
AFA day. Absolutely.
Yeah. And tomorrow we're going to come back and we're going to kick off this holiday weekend with a fantastic show. Hope all of you guys have a great day today. Sherry, why? What do we do? What's it all about?
It is all about living your best life and helping others do the same, no matter what.
No matter what. All right.